Hey, welcome to Sea Talk. Thanks for joining us.
No, it's all right. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Firstly, congratulations on 20th store being opened, which is kind of the prompt for us to call you. But before we get into that, Danny, could you do a quick intro?
I can do, yeah. I'm Danny Wilson. We run the Wilson Retail Limited, which is the company that runs the Wilson Group of franchises across One Stop. So, yeah, like you've just mentioned, we opened our 20th store recently with One Stop and been doing it for 18 years. Started in 2005. First store was a Premier, changed to Nicer. We got to 9 stores with Nicer, dropped back to 7, and then switched into One Stop and carried on expanding since then and sort of moved more across the Northeast and sort of where we are now.
Good stuff. I mean, I think, for the retailers watching this, and it's a kind of a mainly retailer audience, the real
Yeah.
question is like, how did you get that growth? Because it's not the easiest thing to do.
You mean growth in store numbers? Yeah, it's not the easiest. It's sometimes probably harder going when we were in the smaller numbers, almost, ones, twos, threes. It can be harder then because you're adding more on. Different reasons, really. When we were nice, there was more opportunity, but most of our stores were open sort of around the Scarborough, Bridlington area. Since we sort of joined with One Stop, we got, we took a bit to readjust ourselves from leaving Nisa, and then we got a good growth in sales. One Stop's model makes it easier to run multiple stores. That's been a big factor. So it's expanded the distance we can sort of really stretch ourselves to. So we're as far up as sort of Durham now, sort of 2.5 hours away from our main office. So that's made that more feasible and possible. And I'd just say sometimes financing as well. One Stop co-invest in stores, which is a big help. So we've used that to our advantage and just opportunity. Just the last few years, we've really opened quite a few in the last 2 or 3 years. And it's just that we've seen a lot of units and a lot of shops that become available. We've took ex-Sainsbury's, we've took an ex-McCall's, we've brought a few freeholds or empty units, empty bank. We've just recently brought a old unit that used to be a Boots that was on an auction. So just there's just a lot. I just think it's just more opportunity, really, and we're fortunate we're in a financial position to be able to take some of them.
Right stuff. So are the later store kind of a bigger footprint?
Yeah, gradually our sizes are getting bigger, and I think they have to. The reality is that it's much harder to make money out of a store that's 800 square foot. You can still do it. Trade's most important, but I think you just got to accept that your costs are going up. So the more potential higher trade you can do, we really need stores to be doing sort of 25k a week to make them really viable now. So it does help if they're bigger.
Yeah, well, I read a headline that you might achieve 25 million this year. So not going to worry about Christmas too much.
Yeah, I think we should do. Yeah, we should do, depending on new stores and other stuff. But yeah, I think that is a fair estimate. I think it's obviously good for headlines and it as well. So
yeah, it's good for headlines. It's good for us. Good for us doing this. So, like, where does it all end? And I mean that in a very good way. You know what I mean?
Well, still, it's me and my brother who are the 2 directors. We've got 4 shareholders. My mum and dad are sort of shareholders as well. But me and Craig sort of run it. We're still relatively young. We're sort of 42 and 48. So still feel we got a decent bit of time running it. I don't know, really. We've never really looked for numbers. So it's never been a case of just, can we open extra stores? And we always put a target on saying we'll open so many stores. It's more just about if we believe it's a good store. And, well, if we believe it's a good store, can we afford to do it? And, is it in the right catchment area? And, can we run it well? And I think looking at it now, where we are now, it's probably easier to say, yes, we'll probably keep on adding quite a few stores. It seems to make sense, and as long as we can find good sites, but it's not that easy to find good sites. That's what I would say. It seems easy. I mean, it's probably easy for me to look and say it looks easy because we've opened quite a few, but we turn down so many units and so much we look at and stuff, and we tend to open a lot of cold starts and stuff like that. So it's a lot. We get a lot of sites reviewed by One Stop because they'll give us the Tesco sort of review on the area, and we really use that a lot. So we built up a lot of knowledge on that, and probably for every 10-15 stores we get reviewed, it might take one.
That's good stuff. Hey, look, I told you time would go very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And it absolutely has. Before we go, one thing I always like to ask, one thing we always like to ask is for the retailers out there, what could you give us a top tip how to be successful in the sector?
Probably my top tip is probably consistency. I think that's what we've built our business on. Is we're probably not always. With One Stop, they're quite universal. They're quite uniform shops. They're all very similar, so we run them there. But I think we have good consistency, even when we're in Nicer. Good consistent pricing, good consistent standards. And, I think customers, we tend to have more than one stop in an area, know what to expect. And I think if you can be consistent in your standards, rather than trying to be perfect all the time, but consistently good, I think that'll get you where you're looking to be, I think.
Thank you ever so much for joining us. Time has run out. I'll look forward to seeing you soon and watch your success in the future.
All right. Nice to speak to you, Paul. Thanks.